The French Grand Prix was the fourth race of the 1951 Formula 1 season and took place at the Reims-Gueux circuit in Reims on the 1st of July 1951. The race would also hold the honorary title of European Grand Prix for the 1951 season, title awarded to the British Grand Prix the previous year. After the last race in Belgium, Giuseppe Farina had reclaimed the championship lead, making the most of another mechanical trouble encountered by teammate Juan Manuel Fangio, who was now only 2 points behind the reigning champion Farina. The third Alfa seat was occupied by the returning Luigi Fagioli. The Italian driver had battled for the championship the previous year, but had then been dropped by Alfa Romeo as a regular driver. He had re-signed with the team for 1951 as a test driver. However, the Italian team gave the old veteran a chance to race for them once again in France. Ferrari had had a disappointing start to the 1951 season and had failed to close the gap to the Alfas or win a race. The frustration was growing within the Scuderia, as the Alfa Romeo domination had gone on for too long. After the first 3 races, Alberto Ascari sat third in the championship with 6 points, and remained 6 points adrift of championship leader Farina. For the French race, he was joined by his regular teammate Luigi Villoresi. However, the third teammate, Piero Taruffi, was ill and could not participate in the race. The team decided then to sign José Forlán González, the quick young Argentine that was considered by many as Fangio's prodigy. Simca Gordini was the only French manufacturer to enter their home race as a works team. The successful Formula 2 outfit had started to make its impression on Formula 1 and entered the event with 4 cars. Once again, it was Fangio who took pole position, demonstrating the superiority of his Alfa on a single lap. He was the quickest throughout the practice sessions and took pole by setting a lap time of 2 minutes 25 seconds and 7 tenths, 1.7 seconds ahead of his teammate Farina. The Ferraris closed the gap to the Alfas to under a second, with Ascari only 7 tenths of Farina's best time, while Villoresi put his Ferrari into 4th position. Sanesi on Alfa qualified 5th, ahead of the Ferrari debutant González and Fagioli on his return for Alfa Romeo in 7th. Chiron was the leading Talbot-Lago in 8th place, ahead of the private Ferrari 375 of Reg Parnell. Further down the grid were the Talbot-Lago cars of Étincelles, Cabantou, Clae, Rosier and Chabut. The race was held on the temporary 7.8 km circuit over 77 laps, for a total of just over 600 km, the longest race in terms of distance to date. At the start, Fangio kept the lead, whereas his teammate Farina had a poor start and dropped several places. The 2 Ferraris of Ascari and Villoresi took full advantage and overtook Farina at the start, as did Sanesi and González. By the end of the first lap, Ascari had taken the lead from Fangio. The Reims circuit was notorious for being hard on cars, taking their reliability to the limit, with 6 cars retiring within the first 10 laps. By the end of the race, the number of retirements had risen to 11. Mechanical issues affected the front of the field as well, with Sanesi suffering from a misfire while in 4th, allowing González and Farina to get past. Farina was then able to make his way past González's Ferrari as well. With Alberto Ascari comfortably in the lead, it looked like Ferrari were going to take their first race win of the season, as Ascari seemed to be able to keep Fangio under control on race pace for the first time. However, their hopes of a first victory quickly faded when Ascari's gearbox seized up on lap 10, taking him out of contention for the win, and allowing Fangio to retake the lead of the race. Farina had closed in on Villoresi's 2nd place, and quickly got past the Ferrari driver. Alfa Romeo were once again back in control of the race. However, mechanical issues started to affect the Alfa team as well. Fangio developed a misfire issue, forcing him into an early pit stop and later rejoined the race. Unfortunately for the Argentine driver, the same problem represented itself and was once again forced into the pits, bringing him out of contention for the win. Following his teammate misfortune, Farina had inherited the lead of the race and extended his lead to nearly a full minute ahead of Villarese's Ferrari. Fagioli, the only other Alfa Romeo not to have encountered problems, got past Gonzalez's Ferrari and took third place. However, when he came into the pits for his stop, the Alfa Romeo team ordered him out of his car and swapped him with Fangio, in order to give their lead driver a chance to win the race. A few laps later, Ferrari adopted the same strategy, and Gonzalez was ordered to give up his car from second position to their lead driver, Alberto Ascari, who had retired earlier in the race. At this moment, Farina was still leading the race. However, it was Fangio, driving Fagioli's car, that started to set up fastest lap after fastest lap. The Ferraris of Villarese and Ascari ahead of him were no match, and he quickly got past them and started closing in on Farina. Fangio was lapping so fast that he broke the lap record set the previous year by 8 seconds. After another round of pit stops that slowed down Fangio, and a tire puncture on Farina's car, Ascari found himself in the lead of the race for a second time. However, he later encountered brakes problems and was forced back into the pits. Fangio retook the lead of the race and went on to win by almost a minute in the car shared with Fagioli. The shared Ferrari of Ascari and Gonzalez would also take second, with Villarese's other Ferrari in third. Parnell finished the race in fourth in his privately owned Ferrari ahead of Farina's Alfa Romeo. This result allowed Juan Manuel Fangio to take the lead of the championship by 1 point at the halfway point in the season.